Hello everyone, this is the Northern Legionnaire here today, and a bit of a mess of a room, as you can tell. And yeah, not the best for recording at the moment, but basically, I guess you could say the problems with building your own computer. It definitely does come with its magical properties, you can definitely call that, I guess. So today, yeah, basically I'm replacing the hard drive. I bought this brand new from Currys and PC World, and my receipt is just under here. Are you happy with your product? No. Oh, you want to know if you love your new product? I don't love it at all. In fact, I had great difficulty with it. I brought this brand new only about a week ago. No, not even that. 4 or 5 days ago, actually. So not even a week old. From Currys and PC World, a Western Digital 1TB hard drive for £54, and I think a bit of excessive money as well. And basically, what's happened with this is it's a dead drive. I bought a brand new hard drive, but it's a dead drive because when you plug it into there and you boot up the BIOS, not only does it not show up on the BIOS, but at the same time, when I'm trying to install Windows 10, which my dad has got me as my birthday present, as well as something else which should be arriving today, which I'm hoping maybe comes in the morning, it means access to the internet will be a hell of a lot easier than just buying a crappy PCI card, which I guess I will probably also eventually do as well, Wi-Fi card. But yeah, basically, yeah, so I'm plugging it into here, into these drive bays, and everything is fine. I've got the power and I've got the SATA cable, or SATA cable, plugged in, and then I got the, if you can just see it here, I'm using also a torch, but I don't know how well my camera light would be, but just, is it that? No, it's not that, sorry. Where is it? I can't even see it. There we go, it's just right there. There, I can't really see it on my camera, but yeah. That there is the cable going round, and it just goes into here like that, to that thing. Or one of those two things anyway. And basically, yeah, so the connection is fine, the motherboard's not dead or anything at all, and I'll be very surprised if every single SATA cable or SATA cable connection point is broken, since I did get this as a used motherboard, but I highly doubt that, because, I mean, what's the chances of all four breaking unless you've used all four and worn them out somehow? Which no one really does, I don't think, unless you've really got a proper gaming rig set up where you've got like multiple SSDs for some random reason. I don't know. But basically, yes, I'm having to replace this hard drive. You'll also notice as well, I've got new RAM. I've been trying to record videos for a while now, and I've basically just had, I think, low battery on my phone, so essentially the thing has run out of recordings time and whatnot. So I might try and recover some of those videos I've got and just maybe mash them together, but I guess I can explain in this video as well, and I might make the video for the other things as well. Basically, on Instagram, on my personal account, I've basically just put in, I had the, when I did the, what was it? The dry run set up on the motherboard box, I had a stick of 8GB of RAM. And basically, what was happening is we put the RAM stick in and whatnot, and we found out the fact that the RAM was dead, which was amazing. And basically we just narrowed it down because we bought it from CEX. We just narrowed down the RAM being dead because of the packaging, because it didn't come in any anti-static bags or anything like the hard drive and the motherboard did. Nothing came in anti-static bags, unfortunately. So well, it's alright. I mean, £35, and this was only £20, but it's not that bad. But yeah, I got this used RAM here from CEX, from my local store. I say local being, it's still about half an hour or-ish bus ride away, so about 20-minute drive away. Basically, yeah, this was £20 for DDR4 4GB, so not 8 unfortunately, but it will do for about, yeah, about just under a month, I guess. And by then I'll have at least 8GB, if not 16, to be honest, if I want to get 4 flushed out things, or if I want to buy two 8GB sticks. I don't know how it's going to work out yet, we'll have to find out. I may even get some coloured RAM, maybe black or just red, because obviously the PC is a black and sort of black and red build. I don't know how well it would work. I mean, the motherboard itself is basically just black anyway. Maybe black RAM sticks will just be fine for now. But we can always find that on the build anyway. We can have a look and see what happens, and I can probably buy like at least one stick of 4 in like a red just to see how that would look. I don't know. But yeah, everything else works fine. If you turn on the computer, nice glowy fans, which you can kind of see through here, not as much though. Yeah, I can see why now, and yeah, I guess if we can show the BIOS off as well. Yeah. But yeah, quickly, yeah, you just saw there was a red light, and that was flashing over where it said VGA. If I can get a proper view of where the lights are, forgot now, but it's like these three here. If you can just see there, it says one saying CPU, one saying DRAM or VRAM or something. No, not VRAM, but DRAM or something, and then one saying VGA. And basically they're just indications for saying if the CPU and the RAM and the graphics card, or basically the PCI slots work, I think. It doesn't necessarily have to be the graphics card. But yeah, so the graphics card I've got plugged in. I've got two 6-pin connectors. Is it 6-pin? Yeah, two 6-pin connectors here and here. And surprisingly it can still get powered by the motherboard, which is different to say the least, but yeah, it somehow can still get it. Maybe not the power draw might be enough, but it can still turn the fans, let's put it that way, because I did test it by unplugging this thinking it would turn this off. But no, you'd have to take the entire thing out. Basically, we found out why I spent only 65 quid on this thing, and not excesses of money, because basically, besides it being used, it takes a lot longer than it should do to turn on. And that's basically just down to, I think, just the age of it in general, and the use of it. But as you saw there, the red light came on, and that's just basically saying, hang on a minute, there's no signal, because it's waiting for this thing to go, oh, wait, I've got to do something now, I've actually got to work. Oh, okay, graphics card on. So yeah, basically something in here is just being slightly slow. I don't know if anyone can have a look at that and replace it. I don't know anyone at the moment who's professional enough to replace that. And in the BIOS as well, because basically I couldn't boot Windows 10 onto this. I was doing so many different things, and I even basically, if you look up here, you can't really see it very well because of the light on my camera, but basically I've just disabled all the different boot priorities and just got at the moment my hard disk and my UEFI hard disk, which is I think something similar to that, I don't exactly know. But basically I just disabled all the boot priorities and whatnot. I can probably reset the BIOS. I'm hoping it doesn't reset my RAM speed though. That's the important thing, because that came out as actually if I go into EZ mode, EZ, you see how it's 2400 megahertz speed? Well, originally it was like 1300 or something megahertz speed, so it was actually slower, even though it said the maximum amount of megahertz speed you could get was 2400. Oh, sorry very much, but yeah, and it also shows this in here as well. I think that's that anyway. But yeah, yeah. So basically, as you can see here, just changing off all the boot priorities, and that's basically just gone through. If you go in the BIOS, pressing delete when it appears, going to settings, just going to boot, and you can see all the different boot options, and you can just change that from being disabled, and you can have all these different ones here. I've currently got them all disabled, but I can basically re-enable it and just enable all the different variations of things if I wanted to. I just turned them off because I was reading a bunch of these like pages of like Windows 7 not booting up and whatnot. I've just been reading it, and like down there as well, seeing what I can do, and basically we've just come to the conclusion it's a dead drive, can't have anything to be done with it. and I'm just going to get a replacement and seeing if it is physically a dead drive, because you never know, it could be the motherboard. That's the only other thing I can think of. But from being able to do this, it's very unlikely, especially when the hard drive doesn't actually display as one of the, if we go into storage, it never actually displayed on any of the SATA ports here at all, or SATA ports. And yeah, even though it would display in the operating system, I couldn't format it at all, and it would always have trouble making partitions, even if I went on a command prompt, and not command prompt, even if I went in the command line window and I physically wrote in the commands to make partitions, which is, if I could find it, because I know some people might want to know what I was writing. Okay, it's not here. It's down here then. Yeah, sorry for the massive video. Basically, you would write something more or less along the lines of that. And basically when it does the, yeah, so that clean is actually clear for this one. But yeah, disk 0 create partition primary. So yeah, you can ignore the disk 0. But create partition primary, when you put that in on the BIOS, sorry, not the BIOS, when you're installing it, it basically goes, thinks about it, and then it comes up with this cyclic error. And currently the only solutions I've found to solve that cyclic error is basically more or less within the actual operating system itself, when it's already actually been installed. Half of them are all like external hard drives, and I've no idea if they're trying to install the operating system on that as well, or if they're just making a partition on that external hard drive for some reason. But yeah, that basically it comes with making partitions. It says that's what's the problem, and most of the time I've just seen, if not all the time, I've seen it done. Instead of installing Windows, it's like for you know, when you've already got Windows installed. And on top of all of that, not only do we have that problem, but looking at a lot of the fixes as well for it, there isn't really much documentation in terms of using the command line when installing Windows, and pretty much, yeah, all of them say to do that method or something similar. Basically, yeah, can't be done. So yeah, also one important and very crucial thing I found out was the fact that if you look on the side here of the panels, these screws actually aren't supposed to come out. So yeah, might have made a little bit of a mistake when doing that quite a bit of times actually, but the screws would actually have to come out, which is fine, you know. And if you want to look at the cable management as well, none of this was done by me, so we're going to look on this side first. So first off, the only things I've essentially borrowed from my friend is the monitor, that was it, and then this fan here at the back, just to help for the cooling, and because we have space to add an extra fan. 92mm on both, by the way, if you're wondering what the size was. And I think that and those two are both 120mm, because you can see that's basically more or less the width of the case in one fan, more or less, as I said, which is alright. Plenty of cooling, to be honest. In fact, some may say excessive, because you don't need that extra one there, and two here is really not needed, I don't think, when there's really, like, if I put my hand here, by the time you get to over here, you can't really feel anything. You can feel like a slight little bit of cold air, but not as much as coming over here. And even if you just blast this thing up using the fan controller to full power, which you can just hear now, yeah, you can feel it, but it's a lot of it's escaping into this direction. This fan down here, very nicely blowing onto, let's say, the top of the graphics card, keeping that cool, and I think around here as well. And the reason why I hadn't actually put the computer down here is more or less just due with claustrophobic space in terms of the computer, because up here it's got a little bit of ventilation below, and it's got plenty of ventilation at least from the front, and I guess an alright amount of ventilation from the back because it's quite higher up, which means it's got, I think, a bit more width. I'm not pushing it against the wall at all. And if you actually ironically use the fan controller and push this up to max, because it's also hooked up to the back fan as well. You can see here my post-it note at the very back. My hand's kind of shaking, but you can sort of see it flickers a little bit. Kind of funny, but yeah, that's how powerful it is. And even this thing here, the fan, isn't actually turned up all the way, because if we look at the hardware monitor, that was it. This is the fan. They won't turn it up at the moment because it's quite easy to access. If anyone wants to see the BIOS at all, and any more settings I've got configured on there. Basically, yeah, turning the thing up, even though it's loud, it's kind of funny because it isn't actually that loud compared to what my friend's computer is, which is very nice indeed. Yeah, so I guess this is more or less for the video. Just basically waiting for it to wait for the time, and then my mum's going to take me out, replace the hard drive. We'll see if we can get the operating system installed. If we can, brilliant. We know that means it's just the hard drive failure. If not, then I've literally no idea what could be wrong with it, but just more debugging to be done then, I guess. And yeah, we'll see you guys later.